"She's in my dreams again," my wife gasped, stirring me awake. It was 3 a.m. For the past few weeks, my wife had been having the same nightmare. A pale woman would appear next to our bed and pull off the sheets. She'd point to our bodies and wave her index finger back and forth, whispering, "Eeny, meeny, miny, moe." I thought the dream was odd, but not out of bounds for a woman who binged horror movies, so I'd usually roll over, pull the blanket over my shoulder, and tell her to go back to sleep. But this morning seemed different. There was something exact and final about her voice. It encouraged me to get up and see what was wrong. "What is it?" I rubbed the sleep from my eyes. My wife stood at her side of the bed, wearing a horrified expression. "Sweetie, what?" She just pointed at the floor. I got up, switched on the light, and made my way over until I came face to face with the area she had pointed to. There at her feet was a pile of human hair. What on earth? I did a double take. The hair on the left side of her head was missing, like someone had snipped it off with scissors. "It happened while I was asleep," she muttered. I called the police, drove us to her parents' place. The thought that someone had broken into our home and harassed us made it impossible to sleep. "I think it's connected to my dreams," my wife said. "No way, it's not real, it's just a nightmare." The police didn't know what had happened. I figured some psycho had broken into our home and given my wife a late-night haircut. The frustrating thing was that there were no signs of a break-in. The only clue was the discarded remains of my wife's hair, but that didn't give the investigators any leads. My wife later evened out the rest of her hair by removing the shoulder-length strands on the right side of her head. Now she had a shorter cut that ended at the middle of her neck. She was still beautiful, just different. After the police reassured us that our house was safe, we returned and asked our spiritual friend to come and give it a once-over. "I think it's something spiritual," she mused. "Sometimes evil entities cross over and cause panic." "You're saying a demon cut my wife's hair?" "Maybe. I've heard stories about sprites tormenting beautiful women." I was unconvinced but willing to accept anything, so I asked, "How do we get rid of it?" "Try this." She pulled out a small vial from her jacket. "Anointing oil. Sprinkle it on the doors and walls, and any evil beings will be scared off." I dabbed a few drops on our front and back doors and outside walls. I felt stupid doing so, but I didn't have any explanations for what had happened. I figured, what do I have to lose? After our friend left, I put a camera in our bedroom. I assured my wife, if anything turns up, we'll catch it on film. What happened next is almost too difficult to believe. I'll try to explain. If I hadn't seen it on camera, I wouldn't have believed it myself. The strange experience started after we had fallen asleep at our usual time of 10 p.m. A few hours later, my wife shook me awake. "Honey, I had that nightmare again." I felt anxiety prick at me. Our hair incident was only a few months prior. I clicked on the lamp and motioned to her, "I'll stay up and keep an eye out. You relax and get some sleep." My wife laid back down and drifted off. I still wasn't convinced if this was spiritual or not. Dreams aren't real, right? They can't invade daily life. They're just processes of our imagination. I wondered if my wife had sleepwalked and cut off her own hair. I'd heard about people doing surreal things like that. Regardless, I must have fallen asleep because I awoke to my wife screaming. I staggered out of bed, in shock. "It's Helen." I turned the corner and found her in the bathroom, hyperventilating in front of the mirror. Oh God, it happened again. I glanced up and noticed her left eyebrow was missing. Something was hovering over me, she groaned, tears streaming down her face. And then, a sharp scraping against my skin. "I can't stay in this house any longer." She sprinted past me, snatched her keys from the glass bowl in our living room, and dashed outside. I was too stunned to even react. I listened to the sound of her car drive further away. She's going to her parents' house, I figured. I steeled my resolve and remained inside, determined to find the source of this mischief. I yanked a knife from the kitchen, did an extensive tour of the home. Just like last time, there wasn't a single sign of a break-in. I called the police, told them everything, mentioned how my wife was gone and that I was staying behind to find out who had invaded our home. I informed them that I had a camera and was eager to hand over the footage to assist in their investigation. But before they arrived, I wanted to see the footage myself, check if something or someone had really snuck in and tormented us. I opened the app on my compute. Fast-forwarded to the precise moment where my wife had stirred me awake. There I was, exhausted, trying to reassure her. I skipped ahead to where I had switched on the lamp and escorted her back to bed. Then, I watched myself stay awake for a few moments, then fall back asleep. I sped on further until I saw the woman. She had appeared out of nowhere, lurking in the corner of our room. Even with my added lamp light, she seemed fuzzy, like the camera didn't want to focus on her. Where she had come in from I couldn't tell, but at exactly 2:23 a.m. she had drifted to the foot of our bed. She was about 5'3" and her body was of average build. She wore loose pajamas and had stringy hair covering her face. Just like in my wife's dream, she pulled off our sheets and examined our bodies. Like a studying physician, she placed a thumb on her chin and moved an index finger back and forth. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I was so grossed out that I couldn't watch it any longer. I leapt from my seat, vomited on the floor. The thought of someone being in our home, watching us, was too much. It horrified me beyond belief and made me never want to sleep again. But instead of giving in to the panic, I went back to my computer and rewound the clip several seconds. I'd theorized that the woman had somehow climbed in through our window and snuck back out. However, when I searched for the exact moment of her entry, I was surprised to see no signs of her breaking in. The woman had simply appeared in the room's corner, like a wraith emerging from her tomb. It's a harassing spirit. My friend's words echoed in my mind, but that would mean that this trespasser wasn't real. She was an evil entity sent to harass my wife and me, but that wasn't possible, right? No, I said to myself, it has to be an actual person. This woman has to be real. And then I heard it. Thump, thump, thump. An intense knocking from my bedroom closet. It was a loud series of bumps that sounded like someone was trying to break out. Thump, thump, thump. The noises sent an electrical charge through my body, the skin on my neck pimpled. Oh Jesus, I glanced around for my phone. Where are the police? I searched for my device, remembered I left it in the living room. I rose slowly and kept an eye on the closet as I ventured toward the hallway. Thump, thump, thump. The only comfort I felt was knowing that the police were on their way. I had told them, there's someone in my house. They'd assured me they'd be there in minutes. I just needed to make it outside, then I'd be safe. I rushed into the hall, the thumping from my closet growing louder. I reached the living room, scooped up my phone from the couch, and dipped my hand in the glass bowl by the front door. My fingers fished for my keys and wallet, found nothing. Did my wife take my things as well? Any's, many's, miny, mo. The voice was soft and playful, like a child learning a nursery rhyme, but it was also detached, like a person who didn't quite understand the meaning of their words. I stepped back and swallowed every ounce of fear and turned, seeing the woman from my wife's nightmares, skin so grey it resembled concrete, her hair as dark as rotten leaves, and her eyes were the colour of frozen fat, like the kind you see in a bowl of soup after leaving it in the fridge overnight. In one hand she held my keys and wallet, in the other she grasped a rusty straight razor. Catch a tiger by the toe, she grinned, eeny meeny miny moe. The woman dropped my things and leapt at me, moving with incredible speed. Oh God, help me. I jumped back, petrified. Somehow, I managed to get my hand on the door and wrenched it open. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the gleam of her razor's steel catch the moonlight. I flung myself into the yard, barely avoiding the attack. As I tumbled into the grass, I heard a car door slam behind me. I peered up and saw 2 police officers sprinting toward me. Thank God, help, please, I pointed to the house. She's got a weapon. The officers, an older man and a younger woman, rushed past me. The demonic woman just stood in the doorway, watching us, then stepped back inside and shut the door. The younger officer did her best to stay calm as she hunched over me. Do you have a back door? Yes, that way. The older officer circled around back, I heard him kick open the back door and sprint inside. "Stay put," the younger officer commanded me. She bolted to the front door and tried the knob. "All clear," her partner's voice shouted over her shoulder walkie. I breathed a sigh of relief as the older officer cranked open the front door and allowed his partner inside. They came back out moments later, eyes clouded in mystery. "She's gone," the younger officer said. My wife and I couldn't stay in our house after that. We moved in with her parents days later and brought most of our things over. Some of our items are still at our old place, but we refuse to go back. What's terrifying us now is my wife's hair. It won't grow back. No matter what she does, the left side of her hair is still missing. And her eyebrow, it won't regrow either. She has to use a fake brow to appear normal. I just hope that the nightmares don't start again. Part of me wonders if the woman is tied to our old place, or if she's somehow able to transfer to our new home. Just last week, my mother-in-law woke up screaming in the middle of the night. I was so panicked. I hurried into the hallway to check on her. I stopped at her doorway and heard her and my father-in-law talking. She kept saying something about a pale child dancing in the corner of their room, singing, "Ring around the Rosie," a pocket full of posies. "Ashes, ashes, we all fall down."